Now, John, I know you got there. From what you're saying, you got there maybe a year after Owen Hart's tragic passing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was before my
Okay.
time.
What did over the years? Any reverberation in the locker room? I mean, does this still? Have you ever heard any conversations you might want to share, or
The
any
only,
memories
the
yourself
only,
of the incident, and then
I
the
had
after
never,
effects in the locker room?
I had, I think I walked past him like backstage once when I was freelancing,
Okay.
but I never had met him.
Right.
Brett, when he came back, he'd chat with him every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And, Natty Neidhart has been around a long time, and we talk all the time. But everyone that worked on the crew always felt when we went back to Kemper, they had there was something
Right.
they felt. He was a great guy. Everyone said he was aces of a human being, prankster.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a smile on his face.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a lot of death in your short time there, right?
Well, I mean, the guys we grew up watching.
So, we're talking Dark Side of the Ring. We both watched that. You seen all the documentaries that they had on there? Were you around that night when Owen Hart tragically passed away?
No, I started a year after that.
Was it a year after that? Okay,
A year or
I
so.
got my
Yeah, I
timing.
started in October 2000.
So, were you there? You were there when Eddie passed away, though, right?
Yes.
What was that like?
That was, I cried. I mean, you get friendly with these guys. You travel with them. We do the international tours. We're on the buses together. We're on the airplanes. We talk. And I had spoken to Vicky after the fact because when my first son was born, they let me stay home so I wouldn't get stuck somewhere and miss his birth. And I went back out. He was born December 8th, so I went back out after Christmas. I was home probably about 6 or 7 weeks. And he's asked me where I'd been. He's like, I haven't seen you. I said, hey, no, I had a baby. They let me stay home. So I showed him, oh, he's beautiful. I said, his name's Christian. And he's like, oh, good name. He left, came back, became a born-again Christian and was very faithful.
Okay.
To his faith. Vicky would come on a lot of the trips with us. So I got to know her from before she was on TV. And he told me a prayer in Spanish, and he translated, which of course I never remembered. And when Vicky started coming back on TV, I had told her the story, and she said, "I'm gonna look. I'll go look through all his because he would write stuff down." And she could never find it. And I said, he said it in Spanish. He translated it. And when I told him my son's name was Christian, he gave the face. He would raise his eyebrows, do his character way. And I said, I would really love to get that and have it, and just so I could write it down. You wrote it down and give it to me, and she couldn't find. I mean, she couldn't find it, and it is what it is. But I remember him saying that, and we would talk. Chavo, was a great guy, and all those guys. But Eddie was sad because it was just a shocker, to hear what happened. And we were leaving for Europe that night. Like, we were taping shows, and then we were all flying to Europe, and we were Raw, SmackDown. We're going through our tours, so that. We started in Italy, and you didn't realize the impact you had until we were in Rome, and the first show, the signs everywhere. The whole arena was filled with signs about Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next night, and then the next night, and the 10 bells, and everybody's tearing up. And it was 12 nights. It was just, it was tough.
I have to ask you, since you were behind the scenes at the time of Eddie's passing, did you notice a change in Chris Benoit? Because what's said. It's said that Eddie's death was part of the rapid decline of Chris's mental state. Did you notice any change in Chris?
Nah, I was kind of friendly with him. We would talk and joke around, but me personally, I wasn't around him enough to notice anything.
Okay. Was he quiet and reserved in general, Chris?
Yeah.
Chris Benoit?
He was a quiet guy. Hey, how you doing? How the kids? That was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with the WWE's own Johnny Photo. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. Here's probably the most important question of the night, John.
Here we go.
How do you hold yourself together with all the hottest women in the world around you on a regular basis?
How did I know?
How do you hold it together?
Do you hold it? I'm sorry.
You guys do want to get me fired, don't you?
No, don't answer that. That was me.
If I was working for the WWE, you think I could have made 20 years?
What?
No.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Thank you.
20 seconds.
You gotta be a professional. You just gotta. It's just like with anything else. You know, you take a step back. I mean, look, we used to do the diva shoots. We'd be down in the Caribbean for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yipe.
Back in the Tory, you know, all those girls.
Ooh.
You just gotta. You gotta tune out. Even like
tune out. You're focusing the camera. How do you tune out?
To what's you gotta get the picture, and then that's it. It's just like when guys get busted open, and we take pictures of them getting stitched up.
Yeah.
You just gotta
stay
the
professional.
camera kind of separates you from.
So that's why God works in mysterious ways, because there's no way, there's no way I would hold it together.
Yeah, he knew that he was equipped to.
You, on the other hand, be like, I don't want to go take pictures of the divas.
I would be like that.
Where's Braun Strowman?
I don't know what. I would not be like. Oh, I'd rather take pictures of Braun. He's mint. What the hell's wrong with you? Can we talk about wrestling, please?
God.
Hey, Johnny, do you think that the women's evolution has killed pro wrestling? I've got my suspicions, but that's me. Any thoughts on women's?
No, I think all these girls are great, and they can work, and they put on good matches. I think.
Yeah, just put water on my fire, why won't you?
Sorry, I give those girls a lot of credit. You know, there are some nights where they have the match of the night.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that does happen sometimes. So.
You know, that's a really good point you brought up.
Don't get
you're
carried
taking
away.
you're taking pictures, right? And then all of a sudden there's a match going on. Do you ever lose concentration because the match is that good, and you all of a sudden you're like kind of all watching that match?
Lose concentration, no. But thing in my head, like, you know, some of the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels matches, and you're sitting at the ring, and these 80,000 people. They have these people in the palm of their hands. And if you watch any of the Undertaker's documentary up to this point, you know, that Hell in a Cell with Shawn as the ref, and you know, I go in the cell, I sacrifice myself for the good of my photographers.
Man,
thankfully, I have not been hit by. I've had a few close calls, but thankfully, no serious injuries. But you know, when Brock is in there, stuff's flying all over. There's just. But now, some of those matches, Undertaker, Shawn, or you know, any of those classes where you just sit there and go, you sit back and go, or you know, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan with 18 seconds, and you sit there and go, what just happened? Like if you blink, you miss it, so you can't. And it happened right in front of me.
Right,
so you go, okay, that's interesting, and then on to the next match. But some matches I'll watch just to get a look at. And like I've said to some of the guys, you know, they talk about Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man being the greatest match ever. But when we're kids watching WrestleMania 3, or we're kids watching, you're not watching from a technical wrestling aspect. To me, it's Hulk slammed Andre.
Right.
That's my memory.
Sure.
Now, as I've been there so long and watch guys and speak with a Dean Malenko, and these guys that are great.
Mm-hmm.
In-ring technicians, and listen to them and watch guys in the ring. A guy like Fit Finley, I could look at Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man, and appreciate it now better than I could when we were, you know, 18 or 19 years old as a Hulkamania or a British Bulldogs, or just wanting to see the bad guys lose or laugh at whatever Bobby Heenan says, because I always liked the ha-ha aspect of it growing up.
Right.
You're not looking at, you know, Bob Backlund's a great technical wrestler. It was just he was the champ, and he had that all-American thing about him. And Iron Sheik you hated him because he was from Iran. Now, I look at it, I can watch guys in the ring and respect what they do. You know, more now watching them.
Because you know how difficult it is what they're actually trying to pull off.
Just watch subtle things, or when they're training guys, or they're in the ring going over stuff, and listen to a Dean Malenko, who was so good at what he does. Or even back in the day when he wrestled, look at a guy like Eddie. I mean, Eddie was just charisma in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, laugh at the ridiculous stuff he used to do.
Amazing.
On the live events, you know, you got to hold the rope for a tag. He puts it on the rope and goes to the middle of the ring. He's getting yelled at. He's like, I'm holding the rope. And the ref doesn't know what to do. You know?
On the subject
Stuff like that.
On the subject of Guerrero, what do you think about Garza Jr.?
I like him. He's a good kid.
Does he have a little Eddie, or is it just me?
That seems to be the talk about him. He's a nice kid. He's a nice kid, first of all. I've worked with him a bunch of times.
He's got great charisma.
He's a good kid. And, he does have that look about him. He's got that, the mannerisms, the facials. Mm-hmm. And, I like that little faction. Zelina Vega's a great mouthpiece.
Yep.
She's
agreed. You love
Queens
Zelina
girl.
Vega.
I love Selena.
She's a New York girl.
You photo her lately? Send them to Mike. This guy.
Send me all your photos. Speaking of photos, right?
I send him videos of the talent, calling him out.
Oh,
text him all the time. Otis sent them. Otis to stay away from Mandy.
Otis told you to stay away from Mandy.
I'll take on Otis anytime, man.
You probably would.
Anything.
Oh, great.
So you're an artist, John. What, in your own mind, do you think was the greatest picture you've ever taken?
Ooh.
In my time.
That you're so proud of, something you would hang on the wall of your house?
There are two. You've probably seen them on Instagram or Facebook. Undertaker after 21-0 when he's doing the pose with the urn. Okay. 21-0 is on the Tron and all the fireworks. The pyro's going off at MetLife. And when Shawn super kicks Rick in the retirement match.
That's your picture?
Yeah, when his foot is in his face.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I did not know that was your picture.
Those are probably my two favorite. I mean, I got lucky and caught Brock landing on his face when he the shooting star press that didn't go well.
Oh.
But that was the film days, so I didn't know if I got it or not. I know he's doing it, and
right.
then you hear him and then we ship the film back to Stanford, and then I get a call. Oh my God, the shot of Brock. I mean, his head is hitting the mat, and you look at it and go, how did he survive?
Right. Yeah, that was a direct hit. All
right, guys, I want to bring back one of my favorite segments that the Pharaoh hates.
Please don't.
Basically, what's behind it, it's called the most annoying pro wrestling expert. I'm going to read a statement.
Great.
Behind that pro wrestling expert, I'm going to ask both of you guys to weigh in.
Can't wait.
You going to run the clip, Matt? Tell me when you're done. Am I up?
You're up. You were looking at photos again. You're up. Go on.
All right, hold on. Let me get to the most annoying pro wrestling expert.
God.
Are you
Who
ready?
is it this time?
All right, guys, weigh in. I'm going to read a statement.
Gotcha.
Linda Hogan.
What?
Watching the looting.
What?
It's all Afro-Americans.
What?
Not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized. Response, Tony Khan. You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations.
I saw that.
John, you want to weigh in?
Oh, boy.
Social media is can be a very bad tool in the wrong person's hands.
Yeah.
And then
Are you trying to say Linda Hogan should not be using Twitter?
I would
be a good idea.
Just show pictures of her kids and the beach.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good.
Pharaoh, thoughts?
It's just an idiotic statement. Very insensitive. What are you doing? Come on, and don't pinpoint. All different backgrounds are protesting, so don't go pinpointing like that.
How about the?
This is gonna sound weird because I'm such a Hulk Hogan mark, not
right.
Linda. I'm such a Hulk Hogan mark that I'm like, poor Hulk getting dragged back into it. I'm like, damn it, oh damn! Just when I thought he had the mud off of him.
Well, what about Tony
Khan's
Khan's response? John, thoughts on that?
I read that online and I laughed. I thought it was funny. I didn't know Hulk Hogan was banned from AEW.
Right.
I don't.
Is he also banned from Jacksonville Jaguar games? That's what I want to know.
Whenever they go back to having
So
fans.
basically the way-in is, Linda, stay off Twitter.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And poor Hulk got dragged into it all over again.
What you gonna do when your wife's diarrhea mouth runs wild on you, bro?
All right, well, again, I love the most annoying wrestling expert clip. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll get back to our special star, Johnny Photo. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV out of Ronkonkoma, New York. Our special guest at WWE's own Johnny Photo. Pharaoh, you're up, brother.
I am?
Yeah.
What's next?
I thought we were talking about how Vince has lost it. It says Monty here. Oh, I
No,
skipped something.
see,
Never
see
mind.
that? See where your name there?
Well, you know I'm partially blind. Johnny, how would you fix today's current state of pro wrestling? Do you think it needs fixing? You know there's a lot of critics on both sides of the coin. Any thoughts on what could be done to improve the product today?
I'm a photographer.
He gave me this question. Just remember that. Way to go, Mike.
I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Okay, how about this one? Do you study your own work? Like after you film a match, do you go back and watch your work and take tips from what you're seeing of your own work to improve? Or
photos? Yeah.
Okay.
We shoot differently now. We used to shoot with the strobe, so you would take one picture.
Okay.
You had to wait 3 seconds for them to recycle. So you try to work on your timing a little better. Now it's kind of put your finger down, and but there are certain things. But it's I don't look too much. I'll look on the galleries they post, and then I'll go back and look at some of the stuff that I shot, and I'll look a little more at studio shots than I would ring action. Action. I've been doing it. It's just like I got to a point with hockey. I've been doing it so long that I don't know. The only thing else different is maybe put some remotes up, do something differently other than the ringside action is what it is. The international tours are fun because there's no TV. It's just us. And we can do what we want. And we can move around and do different stuff.
Well, let me roll off Pharaoh's question. Do you appreciate wrestling more now as an adult working for a major organization like the WWE? Or did you like it better when you were younger and it was more just fun?
Look, I love my job. It's fun. It's different. It's not obviously not normal. Get on a plane and fly somewhere every week, every other week, whatever it is.
Awesome.
Travel around the world. Look, if you would have told a freshman in college at School of Visual Arts, photo major, 18, that at 52, not yet 53, that I would have been to 45 countries and stood at the base of the pyramids and walked through the Red Square, in the Roman Coliseum, and been to Australia. I can't even count how many times I've been there. Wouldn't have believed it. I honestly would have thought 4 years of college and went and worked for my dad.
Right.
And then things just kind of, some of them happened by accident, and then just, working hard and being responsible and respectful to the people I was around, made it to where I am now. And, it's been a good ride. As far as, it's tough because I'm looking through a camera. The amount of respect I have for the men and women that do this for a living.
It's a hard life. It's a hard life.
I want to see that 350 days. Those are the guys that we grew up watching. I want to watch it. It was a different world back then. I talked to a lot of the older guys. Mike Rotunda and I have traveled all over on these tours, and we talk. I like to, grill him about different stuff, and hell of a nice guy. And, just like, we were just never home back then. They would go to Europe and go there for 3-4 weeks at a time.
So you're talking about the travel. I'm going to jump a little ahead, Pharaoh. Crazy flying schedule for all you guys. Have you ever been in a situation on a plane where you felt like something was going to happen, like maybe mechanical or like close death?
Yeah,
flight.
We had one.
But the amount of traveling you have, right? Your odds are up there, right?
Look, we've had plenty of not going anywhere because it's snowstorm. We can only get this far because it's snowing in New York. I think one winter, it snowed every Tuesday and Wednesday, 5 or 6 straight weeks, and I have to call home and say, I'm stuck. I'll be home Thursday, and then the neighbors would shovel the driveway,
right.
So they could get out of the house, and snow's coming in here on a Sunday. Well, I got to leave Saturday. There was a couple of rough turbulence flights. We had one going over. I think everybody knew about it. It was probably in 2004. Forget the year. I don't know if my son. No, it was before my son was born. And we were going to we were going Seoul, Singapore, and Perth, Australia. And we had to refuel, and you could feel the plane and people were. I just closed my eyes and said, "Man, I had a good life."
Oh shit!
Oh boy.
See, you like, but okay. So I've been on some plane rides, and you get some major turbulence or whatever. But I've been on plane rides, but people start screaming, and that throws you into like where people. I know you close your eyes, and said, "Hey, it's been a good life." Where people screaming on the plane, and you're like, "Shit."
Yeah, we had on that flight. We had some of the people screaming,
Ooh.
and it was. You look and somebody's green, and somebody's they're holding the arms.
Oh my god.
And that's why I just closed my eyes. I just went.
Do you remember who you were sitting next to on that flight?
I was sitting next to Johnny Stromboli.
Really?
And the Full-Blooded Italians were on that tour.
Wow.
In fact, one leg of the tour, Brock was sitting next to me. And I was watching movies on my laptop, and Old School popped on, and he takes his headphones, and he goes like this. And I went, "I don't have a splitter, dude. We can't watch it together." He just looked at me. He's like, shook his head. Sorry.
Oh my god.
That's all you got out of him that whole ride, huh?
He's a good guy. I like Brock.
Yeah.
I've known him since he first came up, and he always comes up and shakes my hand. He's a good dude.
How is it watching him perform up close? How physical are we talking when you're actually standing feet from him?
Scary.
It's got to be, right? Is he the most physical guy you've seen and passed through in the 20 years?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
He Money in the Bank last year. He just came running down and shoved the ladder on his way in, and I had an arm up. If I wasn't paying attention, it was, I was going to beat his ass after that, but I changed my mind.
Took it easy. You could have told him you're my friend. He probably would have backed off.
He went, "Oh, Magnificent Mike, that's me, sir."
Fuck that guy.
That's your brony.
Fuck that.
Just threaten him. Tell him you got pictures. Don't touch me.
Screw
I got
that
pictures.
fat ball guy.
What? Hey.
Look, WWE is no different than any other company in the United States or in the world, right? We're all going through a very tough time. How tough was it with all the firings or the layoffs that happened in the WWE, and to all the wrestling experts out there that feel that the WWE has kabillions of dollars and they should just be keeping people on the payroll?
Hey.
Not asking you to weigh in on that, Johnny, obviously, but I just wanted to get your feelings, what it's like working. You got a lot of friends that you're not going to be working with.
It's tough. It's just like anywhere else. Anyone else you see, friends of ours that own small businesses that are begging to get back open. It's tough. It's tough. These guys are, they're family. When you hear the wrestlers talk about it, we spend as much time or more with the people on the road than our own family. So we see our kids grow up together. We're in a town where, the merch guy lives, and he brings the kids, and, that kid was this big. Now he's, or my kids come to the show in Nassau. I was like, wasn't he a baby crawling around backstage in Bridgeport, when that show right after Christmas, and now he's, 15, and they all, how old are your kids? And, oh my God, who's got grandkids? And it's tough. They're all, it's a hard situation for everybody. I text with one of the Singh brothers, Gerv, I think it is, and we text hockey. And they're in Canada. They can't come, the border's closed.
Right.
He's got a newborn. We were in Vancouver in February. We took pictures down by the ring, in front of the WrestleMania sign, and he's like, spend this time with my newborn, and then hopefully when everything opens up, I can come back to work.
Now, do you think the WWE is more of a different than a regular job, meaning that you guys are much closer with each other, you're around each other all the time? It's more of a family type of atmosphere, or is it still corporate America type of deal?
I can't speak for the office because I don't go that often, but I with all the downtime, I started watching The Office, and you sit there and go, I wonder what it'd be like if I worked in an office 9 to 5, and you had the guy in accounting that was your buddy. Like for me, I'm a photographer. I hang out with the backstage lighting guys in the bar after a show. I think with us is you work these wacky hours, like you're home watching it, we're working it, and now it's 11 o'clock at night, and everybody's still doing a few more hours of work, and you watch the news or you go to bed, and now you're with these guys at whatever time. It's like, hey man, let's have a drink before we fly out in the morning, and then you're at the airport together at 5 o'clock in the morning flying home, and it's all day. Hey, let's have you're in a hotel bar, or let's go have dinner together, and in that sense, it's way different than an office job.
That schedule sounds awesome.
He's got the best schedule in the world.
That schedule sounds awesome.
I mean, it's weird now,
Okay.
but the split with Fox, we split everything up, so it was that's weird too. I mean, that was weird to just work Monday and go. I should be driving to, we're in Boston. We should be driving to Albany for SmackDown. I was like, now I'm driving home. One of my coworkers that lives out here, so
Right.
that was strange too. And I did a bunch of SmackDowns and then through the weekend and that was odd too. And then you see, hey, where you been? Because everybody was split. I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, I'm working Raw. Eric's working SmackDown. That's how we're working it.
How long do you think before we return to any kind of normalcy with a real live crowd?
I don't know. What's
tough, huh?
Professional sports?
In your opinion,
we're in the same boat as everybody.
Forget
else.
about wrestling. Can you think professional sports can handle being out of action for a year?
I think football, they're hell bent on playing, and if they're going to they want to keep it to 15,000 people separated in the stadium. The NFL they're going to try to do it. You see what they're doing already. I mean, the draft was just set up a bunch of fun, have your phone on, and I'm going to sit in my basement, and the teams are going to text me their pick or however they did it. And look at all the viewers they had. It was the highest rated draft ever because people are starved.
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know if NASCAR is pulling in good numbers because it's something to watch. Mm-hmm. Belmont, they're running at Belmont now. So,
well, it's clear, right? Wrestling in general, shockingly enough, is taking a hit on regular TV right now. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just giving my opinion, is Friday night is a difficult time. You figure people are home and stuff like that, but I think people are more focused on other stuff on Friday night. And I do think wrestling is a more, like John just spoke about football. Mm-hmm. You can get away with playing football without a major crowd, I think. And I think wrestling, you said it a couple of weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. The wrestlers' actions are driven from a crowd, right?
Well, it's a major part of the whole platform is to get a crowd's response, a live response. So it has been strange as a lifelong wrestling fan watching no crowd, and now recently plexiglass and a few wrestlers from NXT, I believe. This is what they're doing with the audience, which I think it's a slight improvement over having no one there. But, I would really like to see us get back to normal. I don't see how that's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I think they're smart, too. They're doing a lot of these vignettes now, and it's keeping attention. Look, I think,
John, who's your favorite talent to work with over the years? You've been there 20 years. Is there anybody you really look forward to working with when you hear you're going to do a photo shoot with a particular person?
Trying to think. I mean, I did. I wasn't there I was there a couple of years, and we did. Perry Saturn and I went around Santa Monica with Moppy.
Perry Saturn.
With Moppy.
With Moppy.
And
if Moppy is your favorite, I'm really going to be freaked.
That's one of those moments when you say, I can't believe this is what I'm doing.
This is my life.
We laughed the entire time. Anything with Santino.
Okay.
My favorite. In the ring. We did stuff with him outside of the ring. He's just such a character. One of the greatest guys that I meet. I love working with Ray.
Mysterio. Okay.
They're all good guys and girls. My favorite to work with, it's tough because it's different. We do things differently now. There's no magazine. We're not doing these off-the-wall kind of shoots. Kane was always a guy I always enjoyed. We did a whole big fire thing with him with flames behind him that ended up becoming a magazine cover. It was his 8x10. Then I had him out in the field in Chicago with the snow, and it was lined to me afterwards where, every shoot I do, you're trying to kill me. Why is that? And as he's looking down at me because he's such a large man, but he's a very, a nice guy, very soft spoken, and they all are. But when you look at him back in the day with the long hair and the mask, and then, hey John, I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's the guy that's, flames everywhere.
Hellfire and brimstone
with the wig. So when last night Drake Maverick loses the finals.
Okay.
Triple H comes out. He's crying in the ring. Triple H comes out, offers him a contract.
Right.
All right, John. Was this a work from the beginning or what?
Dude, I have no idea.
Come on!
I take pictures. I just go there and shoot.
Yeah.
I cover what it is. So you went on the website and saw the pictures. Some of them were probably mine. I just go run and do whatever, man.
Did you feel good for Drake that he was staying with the company?
He's a good kid. He's a hard worker. He's got a lot of passion. He loves what he does.
Wow, are we getting up there? Drake Maverick is a kid?
We're pretty old.
Are we getting up there, John?
With that, we're gonna
have to speak louder.
You know what it's like working with kids that come right out of college? That they work in the TV studio, and you start talking about, man, Caddyshack was funny. What's that?
Of course.
When I was born 1994. I was already working for 4 years. Get away from me,
dude. I have people that work for me. I'm like, did you ever listen to Leonard Skinner? They're like, no, I never heard of him.
Of him.
Led Zeppelin.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Pink Floyd. Is he good?
They'll know the Beatles.
Yeah, he's great.
They'll know the Beatles because everybody knows the Beatles.
Right.
And I tell you why, I got a good one because Edge is back.
Yeah.
And I think I had put something on Instagram shocker, no clue he was going to be at the Rumble. And when his music hit, even I went, wait a minute, what the?
Nice.
By the way, probably one of the great moments in wrestling history. The chills.
Did you mark out?
I did, actually.
Nice.
He didn't know. He's like, yeah.
When his music hit, I went,
oh.
And then, the Spears, and then talked to him the next day, and I said, dude, we went, he had to retire, and we went to Europe. And that was he wanted to say goodbye to the fans. So it was every night. And we got to Liverpool. I knew that he was talking about the Beatles. I said, let's go do a day. We'll take pictures. We'll go around. We got a car. We went to the museum. It was just the two of us. And we really didn't talk much about wrestling at all. It was just a lot of other stuff. And the guy goes, I'm going to take you up by this pub that Ringo Starr used to hang out in. It's closed down, so we're not going to go in there and drink. Why are you taking us here? And we're just standing there, and this guy comes around the bend, and he goes, Edge, oh my God. And now we start talking. He goes, hey, Ringo Starr's childhood home is right down this way. And then, Liverpool, certain areas, it's like row houses like Queens or Brooklyn. They're all houses all connected.
Right.
And we're like, all right, let's go, take us there. Just a happenstance. And an old lady lived in the house, bought it from Ringo's family, and basically like a museum to him. That's how she has it set up.
Sure.
All these pictures and tells all these stories about him. And we were probably in there for 45 minutes, and we walked out and just looked at each other and went, that was the most ridiculous thing that could ever happen. This guy just brought us. First we're looking at each other going, why is this guy bringing us to this bar that's closed? We're in Ringo Starr's childhood home. And then, we drove to Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields.
Nice.
And go back to the building. And,
Nice.
it was like one of those days. And then we talked about it after he came back. And I said, I tell everybody that story because he goes, that's one of the most fun days I've ever had. We were just two guys spending a day together, hanging out and doing his Beatles stuff. And I did not grow up a Beatles fan. I was a metal fan. I like Beatles. But as you get older,
I was both.
you appreciate their impacts. Like the first time I ever went to Liverpool to do a show, we went to the Cavern Club.
Yeah.
And there's bands playing, and we're having a pint, and there's the statues, and then you go to the museum, and you go, wow, these guys had an impact on...
Impressions of the Cavern Club, I have to. I'm a Beatles mark and a half.
It was cool. And then I was told by one of my former coworkers that grew up in Liverpool that the actual one was across the street that got bombed, so they made...
Got bombed.
Bombed during
I heard
the war.
Liverpool was
Listen,
rough.
at our age...
So it was across the street. That wasn't the actual Cavern Club.
Okay.
And we went down, and it was cool. We had a pint. There was a band playing, and
Nice.
I have I bought a Cavern Club shirt. I still have it.
All you have is your memories. I mean, I could just imagine you and Edge holding hands, walking down Penny Lane
Here
together.
We go.
That's pretty sweet.
Nah,
Here we go.
Little kiss.
No
Give him a kiss on the cheek.
No.
Little pat on the ass.
Johnny
might have hurt
Photo,
me.
please listen.
With that, we're going to take a
Don't
quick
know
commercial break. We'll get back to
what
the star of the
you're
show, WWE's own Johnny Photo.
Listen.
Welcome back to Long Island's number one pro wrestler broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York.
Might not be number one after today.
No, we're having a good time.
Number double one.
People are watching. They want to know someone on the inside who's working with such a wonderful company as the WWE.
Oh, come on. We're number one behind
Look,
them.
a lot
That's
of
right.
wrestling fans, again, I don't know. Is it WWE a class act to work with?
They treat us great. I don't,
Nice.
you know, it's
Nice.
a lot of hours.
Sure.
You know that going in. And
Sure.
I myself get treated with respect by people on the crew, the talent, the higher ups we talk with, and I get treated well. I can't complain. I mean, there's sometimes we go, oh my God, I think I'm on hour 20, but
Bro, it's like any other job, right?
Oh,
I mean, look, not everybody loves their job all the time, and you're lucky enough to love your job. A lot of people hate their jobs. It's good to have someone on the inside like yourself, because people, they hear these rumors or they get these stories, and look, this is a guy that's going to go on 20 years working for a company. You just doesn't happen like that, right?
Everybody, pretty much everyone on our crew was there when I started, and I honestly got every time the Godfather comes back and does something, he says, we come and go. You guys are all still here. You must be treated well. And I said, we are treated well. It's TV. I would imagine if I was the team photographer for the Mets, it's 80 games and all these days, and I love the hockey. I mean, I shot over 100 hockey games a year, weekends, travel. I mean, it was different than this because you're not involved with the players. We'd shoot the game and then, go home, unless we had to do something specific with team photos or whatever else. But there wasn't any kind of a relationship with, Mark Messier. It was just, hey, Mark, we'd take these pictures. Goodbye.
You're like a family. I'm telling you, it seems like this family unit.
I tell everyone it's a big dysfunctional family.
It's great.
It's like anywhere else.
Just like any other family, right?
But everybody knows the job has to get done, and I've never seen anyone to a point where there was anything that prevented people from working together. And we all get along. We all know each other's families and kids and wives and girlfriends or whoever else, and parents. Guys bring their parents to the shows, and you go to England and you meet William Regal's parents because they come to the show. Or
how cool is
Australia, and the Iconics, their families come to the shows. Or Buddy Murphy,
But how cool is that they feel comfortable enough to bring their families around you and introduce you to them, right? It's a family. Listen, everybody, next week we have Sunny Beach UWF superstar in studio, and we'll be talking a little Herb Abrams and nice. UWF history again, Dark Side of the Ring. If you caught it. Good episode. UWF, Herb Abrams passed away.
I watched that one.
Yeah? That was a...
I think I almost laughed for the entire hour. The only one I haven't watched is New Jack because it seems like it's...
Listen, catch Monte and the Pharaoh. You'll hear all the New Jack stories you want. We've had him twice in the studio.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of guys we've had in the studio, we've had Scott Hall in the past. Any thoughts on working with the legendary Hey-Yo?
Got a good Scott Hall story for us?
With Scotty, maybe?
Well, when you asked if I have marked out when they came back, well, Hogan specifically. So
sure.
When they came back as NWO, we did a photo shoot with them in Stanford, and it was Hogan, and you just sit there as a kid that grew up, and there he is, and he's having a conversation like we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring up Tuesday Night Titans, the show, and he goes, oh, my God, the stuff that went on when we filmed that show. And we actually did a...
Tuesday Night Titans, man. How great was that?
That was the best.
Holy cow.
When you say that's the stuff I miss. I miss haha. I like to laugh.
Saturday night's main event.
Was one of my favorites. That guy.
Who? I'm sorry?
Santino. That's why he's my favorite. And, I mean, I'll give you one quick one. When we do Australia tours, when we did Brisbane, they would always do a Brisbane Cup. So it was a battle royal. Whoever won then had a title shot at the end of the main event. So it's everybody, other than the champ, obviously. And Santino gets thrown out, holds the ropes, pulls himself back in, bows up to Triple H and Cena. It's on YouTube if you search it.
I got to look.
He goes, walks backwards, grabs his singlet, and throws himself over. right in front of me.
Guy's
So
funny.
I'm laughing, taking pictures. As I'm shooting him walking off, like Mike Chioda's on the ring apron with his hand over his face,
Not to lose.
doubled over in laughter. And if you search it on YouTube, you'll find it. It's like a fan thing from upstairs. But like that kind of stuff Santino would do. Like what Hurricane. Every time tried to double choke slam in the Royal Rumble with Steve and Hunter. And then they looked at each other and threw him over. And I talk with him. I bring that up to him all because he'll put it on Facebook or Instagram. We're Facebook friends, Shane and I. And that's another great guy. We went around with the Hurricane in Dayton, Ohio. We went to a comic book store. We did the most ridiculous nonsense with William Regal. People were laughing watching what was going on. And he's such a character. And these guys have a good mind for the business and he knew what to do to get over.
What's up with that? That was his thing. Don't you remember? The Hamburglar. The Rock totally killed Hurricane. I love that stuff.
Rock put him over.
Yeah, he sure did. They were
all did.
great together on camera. Oh, my God. Good stuff, Mikey.
Do I have a chance with Mandy Rose?
You please. Oh, my God.
I'm gonna use the line, I refuse to answer on the grounds I may incriminate myself. In short, no.
There you go.
Otis is like, yeah.
Have you had any interaction with Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr.?
Hello. We've spoken
Fair
a bunch
enough.
of times about different stuff, going over things, but say hello. How you doing?
You get nervous being in
First
such
time,
a...
first time he walked in the room.
Yeah, like...
Come on, man. I'm a total mark. I would have been like,
Yeah,
right.
of course.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
the boss.
Yeah. Does he
He's
fill
not
up the
he's
room
not
when
a
he
shadowy
walks in?
figure that you never see. He's
Yeah.
a workaholic. He's there.
He is.
So he's in your face all the time.
I would
Well,
say
not in your face,
Not in your
but,
face,
you know.
but he's a workaholic, basically.
I've been here a long time, so I
Yeah.
always say hello to him.
Sure.
If I see him, I go out of my way to say hello.
Sure. Yeah.
Says hello back. Says hello to the guys that sweep the floors. He's not a guy that
There you go.
thinks he's bigger than anybody.
Massive respect
Thanks, everyone.
Look at
respect
that.
for the genius coming
Look
from
at-
this show.
look
That's
at
for sure. He's a
that.
genius.
Look at that.
I love it. That's what I
told-
want to hear. I believe that.
I
too.
believe it, too.
I believe it too. People sit on their keyboard all day long and rail at the greatest promoter that ever lived. I'm sorry.
All
I
right,
don't
so...
agree.
Hey, growing up, they were playing Northport High School, and then there's 80,000 in the football stadium. I mean, that's all you, as a fan, to look at what it was like when we grew up.
We had matches at Northport High School? Where the hell was I?
You were there.
For Northport High School? I don't think so. I saw
Of
like...
course. Ray
Yeah, when I used
Stevens
to
against
work at,
Jimmy Snuka.
When
Northport
I
High
worked
School.
at,
That was
when
at
the
Northport High
Clippers had the
School.
Amico next to McDonald's, I used to pump gas there.
Okay.
Jimmy Snuka pulled in once trying to find Northport High School.
Okay.
He had a Lincoln with his...
What happened? Kliss told you to get back to work?
No, we were like, holy shit, Jimmy Snuka.
What do you say?
Where the hell's Northport High School?
Brother, where is
We're
Northport
like, go to
High
the
School?
light, turn right, that's Elwood Road, go up. Like, we knew the lights.
Right.
Like 5 or 6 lights to Northport High School.
Sure.
Like, I got to take a piss. And, like, we ran around the back of the station, and then we're all, we had, like, this leopard skin interior with this, I think it was a purple or silver Lincoln Mark V at Patterson. A bunch of them all used to come in and stop.
Wow.
And then, look,
No idea.
we went to, we used to go to Comac Arena all the time. My dad's
That-
friend owned the building.
Okay.
And we got front row tickets. My brother and I and all our friends went every month.
Saw plenty of matches
And here's
there.
another childhood where I decided I hated a wrestler that was the big baby face. He goes, I'll bring you in the locker room to meet the guys. So we go, okay, well, now he's not paying attention. There's like 30 kids. So we go in the locker room, and now you see like Dominic DeNucci's eating spaghetti, and you're looking around going, and all of a sudden Ivan Putski cursing, get these effing kids out of here. I went, that's it. I'll never like him again.
Well, he doesn't have a very good
I was
rep,
probably
so
12 or 13 years old. I went, that's it. Never
Yeah.
like him again.
yeah.
All right, we
First some
got
rough
we got
stuff.
about 1 minute. Last
Sure.
question from the Pharaoh to John A. Photo.
Last question from the Pharaoh. All right. Can you give us some positive vibes for the future of pro wrestling? What do you think's in store for us down the road with pro wrestling on television and in
He might just
general?
give you the standard answer. I'm just a photographer.
What would you like
Look,
to see?
I think
It's you.
there's a lot of good stuff out there, all across, all the other, AEW, all these other places are.
Yeah. Any thoughts on AEW?
You know what? I got a lot of respect for Cody Rhodes.
Sure.
Hell of a nice guy. We spent a lot of time traveling around. Good kid. Brother is a great guy. I mean, we had some laughs over the years traveling.
Come across Dusty?
Kid. They used to call me Kid.
There we go.
No, a kid or a young man? I forget what it was. He never. I don't even think he knew my name.
What's up, young
I would
man?
always say hello to him. Young man or kid. That's a lot of the guys.
It's
Kid,
on
how
a
you doing,
photo.
kid? Dusty was he was fun to be around because you have the older guys on. They
Sure.
got great stories from back in the
They
day.
sure do.
Flair, a riot to hang out with.
Were you sad to see the wrestling magazine go? And did you read wrestling magazines like we did when we were kids?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, PWI shut down, didn't they? Did they close
I
up?
think they're online, aren't they?
Are they online only?
I think
now?
they're online
I think
only.
so because one of my old coworkers, I think, is writing for them.
As recently as 2 years ago, I was still getting them in the mail.
Well, they use a lot of our. They use a lot of our photos.
I still had a subscription
What
to
a nerd.
PWI.
PWI uses
Oh,
they use a lot of our photos. We work with them. They use a
Yeah.
lot of our photos.
Yeah.
I've shot specific covers for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Wrestler of the Year, I think is what we always. I think like a year or two ago was Becky when they made it the Woman of the Year. Did one with Charlotte and Sasha back to back. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Johnny Photo's all-time favorite wrestler as we close out.
All time.
All time, man.
All time, man.
Funny because it's the younger kids or even some of the younger wrestlers ask
Okay.
when I tell them, we say my age and I grew up watching wrestling and my favorite all time. It's tough. I mean, I was a huge Bruno fan growing up. I mean, who wasn't?
Interesting. Okay.
Favorite. I mean, everybody. The Hogan was up there. Some of the characters. Look, Steve Austin might just. He was another one. I mean, those would be my top three. Like Rick, we grew up. We didn't see NWA.
Right.
And I even said to Rick after his book came out, I said, "Dude, I didn't even know you and Ricky Steamboat had these Iron Man matches every night because that wasn't on TV in New York."
Right.
There was
And he
only
said, we
2,000
went
people
all
watching
across
that
the
anyway.
country.
So.
He goes, Ricky and I, 60 minutes.
Yeah, with 2,000 people watching.
But two.
Ask me who my favorite wrestler is. Just ask me.
All right. Who's your favorite wrestler, Monty?
Ivan Putski.
You're a
I tell you what, any celebrity that comes to our show and you ask them, to me, they're a real wrestling fan. If they don't give you the standard response. Hugh Jackman said King Kong Bundy. To me, that's a true wrestling fan. Because
Right.
the standard responses, Randy Macho Man,
Right.
Hulk Hogan.
Greg Valentine.
Greg was a great heel. I
Greg
mean,
Valentine.
back then there was so many characters.
Right.
Sidney Crosby, we met him at Pittsburgh. He's a big wrestling fan, and we're talking. Who's your favorite? King Kong Bundy. And I said to him, "You're a true wrestling fan,
Right.
not a guy that may or may not watch it." I loved Hulkamania.
King Kong Bundy ruined his childhood.
I like Bastion
Five
Booger.
count. Bastion Booger.
He was one of my favorites.
Bastion. Oh.
Anyway, we want to thank Johnny Photo for coming in. You've been watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh. Monte the Pharaoh can be seen on YouTube, Facebook Live, on the Monte the Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Channel 115 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. You're going to get the reduced video of Johnny Photo. You're on cable this week, my friend.
I am.
And then you're going to see you on Saturday at 6 a.m. till 6:30 a.m.
Nice.
Do you get up that early, John?
No.
But at our age, we always wake up early. Do I
Yeah,
actually
no.
get out of bed? No, I'm awake.
I'm usually up and rolling. Get my
wanna go
weekly
to bed.
fix of Monte and the Pharaoh.
There you go.
I want to thank Johnny Photo for coming in. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for teaching these pro wrestling expert what real wrestling is about. This is Mike Monte.
This is the Pharaoh. Until next
It's a
week
pleasure.
with UWF superstar Sonny Beach. Later.
Top mic guy? Yeah, yeah, I think you can. He was always quiet, when he went into Eddie's room, when they went into Eddie's room that morning. When I found out, I was checking out of the hotel. We were going to the arena in Minneapolis. We were taping Raw and SmackDown, and we were